Now, the Ogun Governor-Elect Dapo Abiodun says he bears no grudge against the outgoing governor of the state, Senator Ibikunle Amosun.
The Ogun Governor-Elect noted that he took the position in spite of Amosun's antagonism and hostility towards him in the build-up to the Saturday's elections. Abiodun, the candidate of the All Progressives Congress at the governorship election, was declared winner by the Independent National Electoral Commission on Monday. Well, joining us now to discuss this and more is REMMY HAZZAN, the spokesman for the Ogun State Governor-Elect Dapo Abiodun. Thank you for joining us, Mr. HAZZAN. It's great to have you on.
It's my pleasure to be here again.
Yeah, let's begin by congratulating Dapo Abiodun and the rest of your team on the
Congratulations
election.
are in order.
You can say that again because victory is sweet.
Yeah.
It is. I think the last time you were here, we were discussing the relationship between Mr. Amosun and Mr. Abiodun. Now, Mr. Abiodun has come out to say that there is no antagonism and no grudge between. How true is that? Because we do know that Mr. Amosun was never in support of Mr. Abiodun, despite the fact that they belong to the same party, but was actually giving his allegiance to the APM, Mr. Akilade. So how true is that? How true is it that there is no grudge between the two men?
Well, to the extent that he has said it, we believe him because he's a man that is known for saying what he means. And also because the assignment of governance is far more important than bearing animosity against someone who has not shown you some support for you to even get there. Being a Christian and having the disposition of open mind, he realizes that whatever it is that Governor Amosun did to ensure that he didn't get there ultimately did not add up. And he's the governor-elect today. So why not move on and face the challenge of the victory that you have, rather than belabor yourself with such things as wanting to get back, because that will even constitute a slowdown.
Absolutely.
In other words, he's been gracious in victory.
He's seeing God as the one that made it possible. So being grateful to God, that means God has fought for him. He needs not fight for himself again.
What are the chances that they will work together? Because Mr. Amosun has won his Senate seat in the Senate under the APC, and we have Mr. Abiodun in Ogun. They still belong to the same party. Will they work, together?
Working together will not be difficult if the one who was up in hand is willing to at least lend some support to ensuring that our state moves forward. With what Prince Dr. Dapo Abiodun said, he's simply saying, my doors are open. So it's up to him, Governor Amosun, to take advantage of that open door and come inside and be part of moving our state to the next level.
Well, we understand that just before the elections, former governor of Ogun State, who also belongs to the opposition PDP, Benga Daniel, decided to throw his weight behind Dapo Abiodun, your principal. Were there conditions to this sudden support?
I don't know if you had a correspondent among the team of pressmen that Prince Dr. Dapo Abiodun addressed yesterday, and I guess this was addressed. Chief among the reasons why the support came is because they are kinsmen. Benga Daniel is from the Remo extract in the Ogun Senatorial District. Prince Dapo Abiodun is also from that same region of Ogun State. Yeah. Now, initially, build up to that point, there was another Remo candidate that would have been, but the court denied him the opportunity by favoring somebody else. And he looked at it probably that, why not if we have another Remo son on the ballot from another party, let's leave partisanship aside. And he threw his weight behind him. I don't know of any other conditions other than the fact that they're brothers.
What does that say of the man, Benga Daniel?
Well, he's trying to show us that he's a statesman, because at the level of statesmanship, partisanship is secondary.
Indeed.
Other things that bring people together will be primary.
Now, there has been a lot of internal politics and a lot of internal conflict but leading up to the elections, which I'm sure you're very, very aware of. Now, How is that going to be put to one side for the betterment of Ogun State? What are the challenges, in other words, that Mr. Abiodun faces as he takes up such a huge responsibility?
Internal feud within the party will be secondary to the challenge that we have. The basic nitty-gritties of what the government itself has to offer. What is our level of exposure as a state? How are they going to affect the programs and policies that this new government is bringing on board? What are the plan B that the state will come up with to ensure that we leapfrog from just that mundane, moribund level of just struggling to get there? Those are the key issues. The issue of party differences, there are those within the parties that will be saddled with such responsibilities, and they will get that done. And I'm sure President Dapo Abiodun wants to belabor himself with getting it right with his own plan, policy, projections, as well as the party manifesto.
Okay.
Dapo Abiodun has been declared governor-elect. There was a lot of bitter rancor leading up to his election. What can we expect from him when he is sworn in as governor of Ogun State in terms of development for the people of Ogun State?
Those are not different from the programs that we highlighted.
Your manifesto?
Yes, the manifesto, the vision and mission statement of the candidate. Because, like I love to tell people, what the program of a candidate is a combination of the manifesto of his party and his own vision. And marrying the two together, they become his policy document. So the people of Ogun State should expect a turnaround in our economic development, because we have just been saddled with being at the level of, oh, we have great potentials. And we've not been able to turn potentials to reality.
Nor harness them.
He has said that with his private sector success, and what he has been able to do with his humble background that has translated to a major success story, he can turn around Ogun State economic potentials into a major beehive of activities that everybody will see us as the next best place to be. That's on one side. Doing this, however, he said there will be a mindset that whatever step we're taking in every sector to develop our economy, employment generation will be the focus. And the umbrella that covers all of it is the fact that good governance will be the guiding light. And at the local government level, this good governance will, give them the opportunity now to have some level of independence, because the present administration practically crippled local government administration. And he is saying they will get their independence back and be able to do what they're supposed to do at the grassroots, so that we can take the pressure off the state to concentrate on other things that moves the state forward.
Now, I'm sure the people in Nigeria as a whole, and including Ogun State, have heard, politicians come in and say they're going to do this, they're going to do that, they're going to do economic development, agricultural development, and that becomes a reoccurring tune after a while. So what can we expect from the Abiodun administration in his first 100 days?
May I announce to you that all these programs are what we put together and moved into the nooks and crannies of Ogun State. We sell these programs to the people, and they believe in those programs that we sold. And that's why they came out in their large numbers and voted for us. We had no choice than to match words with action. If we fail to deliver on our promises, we will not even wait till 2023 before we get scolded. We will begin to get the bashing from now. So the expectations are quite high. We have no choice than to begin to show the people that what we meant when we campaigned, we actually have the mind to make them real.
So what's the plan for the first 100 days?
Before you even get to the 100 days, in the next 1 week or thereabout, we are putting together a transition committee that will incorporate sectoral representatives to actually ascertain what is on ground. What do we want to do? Now, between what is on ground, what we have in mind, do we have what it takes to get to the destination that we have in mind? If it is not going to happen, what are the plan B? Because if we promise 10, for example, we should be able to do at least 2 or 3 to show the people that we meant well, but we have these challenges. So all those transition committees that will be saddled with various responsibilities will come up with a path to making real the promises made. Now, when we have that, we can now begin to put projections on what happens in 100 days, what happened in 6 months, what happened in 1 year. If we have not done that, giving you a timeline when certain things can be achieved now will amount to daydreaming. But one thing that will happen from day one is local government independence.
Well, your principal's closest rival and also factional party member, Kunle Akinlade, are you going to, is your principal going to
Point
expand
of correction, he is not a member of the APC at this time.
At this time.
If he decides to join the party, he knows what to do, and we can begin to discuss him as a member of the party at that time.
Yeah, and that's why I refer to him as factional party member.
He's not a factional party member. He's a member of an opposition party. Let us not confuse it. He belongs to the Allied People's Movement.
Yeah.
We are of the All Progressive Congress. So he is not a factional party member. He is an opposition party member.
Well, if you'd like to call it that, because
that's the way it should be said.
The principal is the governor of the state, but that's not what, let's not get into that. Is your principal now going to extend to him the olive branch and maybe see if there will be an inclusive government?
I guess by now you have a copy of the acceptance speech, and like I mentioned earlier, he threw the door open. And Akinlade is the only one that is yet to congratulate him. Those who came third and fourth have sent in their congratulatory messages. Other people who are on the ballot have also sent in their congratulatory messages. They've even followed up with a visit to his country home in Peru to show that they are happy that our state is about to move to another level. So if he comes in today to say, congratulations, my governor in waiting, of course he will be received with open hands. It's up to him, but nobody is going to force him to do it.
Did your principal get congratulated by Senator Bukunle Amosun? Just to be clear.
At this time, I'm not aware, but I will not be surprised if it happens, because believe it or not, despite all the acrimony and the open confrontation, they are friends. Okay,
and so if he was able to say there are no grudges between him, your principal, and Senator Bukunle Amosun, he should be able to have a working relationship with Kunle Akinlade.
That's up to Governor Amosun, not our principal. He has already communicated his readiness. If he takes the advantage of the invitation, why not? If not, it's good for our state.
All right, so we're hoping to see a lot of economic turnaround for Ogun State.
We believe seriously that will happen.
Dapo Abiodun running under the All Progressives Congress.
I just wanted to go back to your point about the economic development and the first 100 days. And, you know, you did end up concluding that it was the local government that was the main priority and that they would be given independence. Now,
from day one.
From day one, which is great. I think that right from the bottom up works. Now, I just wanted to know, so before the campaign, right, and before, you know, Mr. Abiodun embarked on this journey to kind of take Ogun State to the... Are there no key indicators of what the problems were? Because when I said what was to be done in the first 100 days, I want to know what you've planned before to begin at the beginning of the administration. I don't want to know what's going to happen when the 100 days comes. I want to know what are the issues in Ogun State and how does that administration...
I mentioned to you can have a good plan and you will be, you know, hindered by funding, finance. If you put a plan in place and you're not able to translate that plan into reality because of funding, it still does not translate to anything. So what we are saying is, in the course of putting all these transition committees in place to assess sectoral issues and come up with what we need to do to drive the policy and the programs that we have. Once we have the picture of what the government looks like, in terms of our indebtedness, our exposure, in terms of what the level of regularity of our IGR is at this time, what comes in from the Federation account, what are the things that we are committed to that we can't but ensure that we service in terms of debt servicing, and all of that. That will tell us an idea of what the surplus funds are and how do we now prioritize the disbursement of those funds into sectors based on the promises that we made.
Okay.
Until the picture becomes clearer, putting a timeline to achievement in 100 days, in 180 days, in 360 days will not be tidy for anybody who understands governance.
Right, okay.
That's exactly what I mean.
All right, so we're going to have to leave it there. I would like to thank you for joining us. REMMY HAZZAN, spokesperson for the Ogun Governor-Elect Dapo Abiodun.
And I also want to thank the people of Ogun State for giving us their mandate.
Indeed.
You are in for a good time.
That's good. It's a nice celebratory way to end. Thank you for joining us.
Congratulations again.
It's my pleasure. Thank you.